Indiana going on the road to Michigan State. Indiana is just the absolute powerhouse that is Hoosier football there in the Big Ten at this point, undefeated. Unbelievable season so far. Is Curtis Rourke coming back this week? Is his hand ready? Is it going to be another week? I'm not sure. Indiana only favored by 7 in this one, Mason. So I'm interested to see what your thoughts are. I don't know anyway. Indiana has been a covering machine all season, just beating the snot out of people. Michigan State, on the other hand, thought they were going to be able to beat their big brothers last week, right? And couldn't get it done. An emotional loss, I would say, in that one, as benches cleared at the end of the football game, all this stuff. Little bro, big bro, Colston Loveland talking junk on the social media. All pretty much just a big distraction for Michigan State at this point. Indiana's going to go on the road. They're one of the best coach teams in the country. Cignetti is really, really good. We talked about it yesterday. As Georgia Bulldogs fans, we just pray that Kurt Cignetti doesn't somehow end up at the Florida Gators or the Auburn Tigers or something like that, right? Stay over there in Indiana. Your work's not done over there yet, Mr. Cignetti. We need you to just go ahead and stay over there. And I kid, but this guy, I'm telling you, he's a drill sergeant of a coach if I've ever seen one. He's got these guys in line. He's got them playing proper football, complementary football. I'm going to continue to ride this Indiana wave. I'm picking them as a favorite in this game to cover. They've beat the stew out of everybody they played. Haven't trailed in a football game yet this year. Haven't beat anybody by less than 10 points this season. What's not to like here about Indiana? What are your thoughts on this game, Mason? I like Indiana to win this thing by like 10 or 14 points, but I don't know what's going on with Curtis Rourke. Is he coming back? Is he not? Does it matter? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be back just based on everything we were hearing going into the football game last week. It really sounded like they just wanted to give him one more week of rest. I certainly hope for Indiana's sake that he is back. He's very fun to watch. One of the best quarterbacks in college football from a statistical standpoint. But this entire team for Indiana has been has been phenomenal statistically. I mean, like you said, they haven't had to play from behind all season long. How does that look? I mean, if they do get behind in a football game, what do they look like? I don't imagine that they're going to look any different, but we haven't seen that yet. And we are due for a letdown game at some point. Like it would be pretty remarkable if they were to win out at this rate. Like no team does that. Even the most elite football teams in years past haven't done what Indiana is doing right now. So at some point, I do expect a letdown game in some way. Maybe they don't lose the game, but maybe they don't cover. Maybe they have to come from behind and win on a last second field goal or something like that. Could this be the game? That's kind of my biggest question mark. We're just at looking at Indiana. I'm kind of just waiting on the other shoe to drop at some point, and they keep surprising me, week in and week out, and how dominant that they play on both sides of the football. I can't say enough about the team and what they've been able to do so far this year. But even with the other quarterback coming in, assuming Curtis Rourke is not able to go, I mean Taven Jackson has been playing really well. They're not asking him to do a ton. He had 19 attempts for 124 yards against Washington, completed right at 58%, had one touchdown, one interception, but looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the football. Looked like he had proper checkdowns. He was making good reads, and they really didn't have to change the game plan. And I think that was the biggest thing for this offense, that they were able to run the same system. Nothing was changed. He seemed to be on the same page with his receivers. I didn't see a ton of drop off with Curtis Rourke leaving, and that is very surprising considering how good he's played. For Michigan State, love the defense. Like you talk about a first year coach that coaches really well. Well, you got Cignetti on one side, who's in line for, or at the front of the line, I would say, for coach of the year at this point. But then Jonathan Smith on the other side has really developed his team quite well. Look, this was a Michigan State team that had a lot of off the field distractions for the past couple of years. They've had a ton of issues with Mel Tucker, texting who was it, the HR
What do you call
manager
him?
or something?
Was it what? I thought his name was Mel Tugger. Was that right? It's
he,
Tucker.
he does tug. He's tugging on something these days. Um, I don't even want to open that can of worms. Off the field issues, go look it up.
I don't even want to
I
open
guess,
that. I don't even want to open that can of lotion.
yeah.
I hate making fun of Mel Tucker. He was the ex-Georgia guy, and he was so nice. Didn't you run
Yeah,
into him one day at the Brave
I
Stadium?
did. I did. I ran into
Yeah.
him and his
The,
family
the
on the
elevator
elevator.
opened up, and he was going, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
And then he
he
pulled it. Oh, I'm just kidding.
he was on the phone with somebody and was, I mean, having a good time.
Pulled a Louis C.K. on you.
Yeah, my gosh. Mel Tucker. I kind of forgot about him, but
Welcome to the First and Long College Football Show. If you're new
Michigan
here,
State though had a ton of issues, right? So you bring in a guy like Jonathan Smith. I think it was a hell of a hire. I think it was a perfect hire for Michigan State. To be honest with you, he brings over Aiden Childs. Really like Aiden Childs. I think he's playing pretty good football in his first year as a starter, as a redshirt freshman. Making some mistakes like all freshmen do at some point or another. But he's got a really good weapon to throw to in Nick Marsh, and I don't think that Nick Marsh is getting the talk that he deserves as a true freshman receiver. He's probably third on my list of true freshman receivers at this point. When you look at, I mean, obviously Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams and what they've been able to do. Well, Nick Marsh is one of those guys who's like a one of one. To see that one touchdown he had against Michigan where he catches the ball and goes one way and then fakes one way and then completely runs like 10 yards around the two defenders to the pylon. I mean, it was a pretty incredible run, and he's been doing that all season. He's a safety valve for Aiden Childs. I do think that he makes some plays this week against Indiana. I think Indiana might be in for a little bit of a close football game for once this season. Especially when you look at what they do, what Michigan State does on the defensive side of the football. I think they can be a problem if everything is clicking. So, but with that being said, I still really like Indiana. They're top 5 in our top 25 this week, and I like Indiana to win this game. I'm not betting on this game. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Because I do think that we're due for a little bit of a letdown from the Hoosiers, but I think that they win this one. Wouldn't be surprised if they cover. Wouldn't be surprised if Michigan State keeps it close. But give me Indiana to win this one.
so what you're saying is Michigan State is going to need another stroke of good luck to win this one, right?
I would say so.
All right, I'm with you, man. Give me Indiana. I'm not jumping off of this train until I have a reason to. So give me Indiana to cover. Until they don't again.